ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. Welcome to another segment of Code Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The recitation for today from Asa Mahalla Tija. Asa Mahalla Tija, Aapai Aap Pachania, ਸਾਧ ਮੀਠਾ ਭਾਈ, ਹਰ ਰਸ ਚਾਖੀਐ ਮੁਕਤ ਭਏ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਚੋ ਭਾਈ. ਹਰ ਜਿਉ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਨਿਰਮਲਾ, ਨਿਰਮਲ ਮਨ ਵਾਸਾ, ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਸਾਲਾਹੀਐ, ਬਿਖਿਆ ਮਹਿ ਉਦਾਸਾ. ਰਹਾਉ. ਬਿਨ ਸਬਦੈ ਆਪ ਨ ਜਾਪਈ, ਸਭ ਅੰਧੀ ਭਾਈ, ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਘਟ ਚਾਨਣ, ਨਾਮ ਅੰਤੇ ਸਖਾਈ. ਨਾਮੇ ਹੀ ਨਾਮ ਵਰਤਦੇ, ਨਾਮੇ ਵਰਤਾਰਾ, ਅੰਤਰ ਨਾਮ ਮੁਖ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ, ਨਾਮੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਿਚਾਰਾ. ਨਾਮ ਸੁਣੀਐ ਨਾਮ ਮੰਨੀਐ, ਨਾਮੇ ਵਡਿਆਈ, ਨਾਮ ਸਲਾਹੇ ਸਦਾ ਸਦਾ, ਨਾਮੇ ਮਹਿਲ ਪਾਈ. ਨਾਮੇ ਹੀ ਘਟ ਚਾਨਣਾ, ਨਾਮੇ ਸੋਭਾ ਪਾਈ, ਨਾਮੇ ਹੀ ਸੁਖ ਉਪਜੈ, ਨਾਮੇ ਸਰਣਾਈ. ਬਿਨ ਨਾਵੇਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਮੰਨੀਐ, ਮਨਮੁਖ ਪਤ ਗਵਾਈ, ਜਮਪੁਰ ਬਾਧੇ ਮਾਰੀਐ, ਬਿਰਥਾ ਜਨਮ ਗਵਾਈ. ਨਾਮੇ ਕੀ ਸਭ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰੈ, ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਨਾਮ ਬੁਝਾਈ, ਨਾਮੋ ਹੀ ਨਾ ਮੰਨੀਐ, ਨਾਮੇ ਵਡਿਆਈ. ਜਿਸਨੋ ਦੇਵੈ ਤਿਸ ਮਿਲੈ, ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਨਾਮ ਬੁਝਾਈ, ਨਾਨਕ ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਨਾਵੇਂ ਕੇ ਵਸ ਹੈ, ਪੂਰੇ ਭਾਗ ਕੋ ਪਾਈ. ਜਿਸਨੂੰ ਦੇਵੈ ਤਿਸ ਮਿਲੈ, ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਨਾਮ ਬੁਝਾਈ, ਨਾਨਕ ਸਭ ਕਿਛ ਨਾਵੇਂ ਕੇ ਵਸ ਹੈ, ਪੂਰੇ ਭਾਗ ਕੋ ਪਾਈ. In this passage, the focus is Naam in its many facets. Naam, the experience at a personal level that we also call the Har. So Har Jiyo Nirmal Nirmala, Nirmal Manivasa, Gurmati Salahiye, Bikhya Mahe Udasa. This is the Rahau, and this is what we need to reflect on to begin with. Har Jiyo Nirmal Nirmala. The Har Self, or the experience of Naam, Nirmal, pure, Nirmal, Nirmala, impeccable, purifying, Nirmale Manavasa. It comes to dwell only in a mind that is pure. Gurmati Salahiye Bikhya Mai Udasa. Through Gur wisdom, develop the virtue of non-attachment while living amidst the poison of the world. Bikhya Mai Udasa. So what does it mean to say that the Har Self is pure? What is that impurity or impediment? The Har Self is pure because it is free from the impediment of the ego, Haume. Haume is considered the mal, the dirt, the distorting factor within cosmic consciousness, the factor, the individuation that happens at the cosmic level, creation. So that is what causes our delusion. So when one cultivates the herself, or that state of consciousness where the ego is dissolved, the fulcrum of action becomes hukam, not haume. And we will see how haume creates a sense of separation. So this is the rahau. The injunction, or at least the statement, is Har Jiyo Nirmal Nirmala Nirmal Mane Vasa Gurmati Salahiye Bhikhya Mahe Udasa. So, in order for you to experience the Har, or the state of consciousness that is cosmic in its perspective, you have to remove the impediment of the ego. So the Guru says in the first verse, Aapai Aap Pachania a-sabad-a-day pai har ras chakhiya mukt bhaye jinha sacho pai. My brother mind, addressing the mind, sweet indeed is the taste, sad-meetha, of self-realization, Aapai Aap Pachania, to recognize one's true nature. Har ras chakhiya mukt bhaye. They who love the truth find liberation by tasting the elixir of self-knowledge. Har ras chakhiya mukt bhaye. So, Naam, or self-knowledge, then, is the basis of liberation, mukti. Mukti from the constrictions of haume. Haume is our existential problem. And haume, as we just indicated earlier, has a bipolar connotation. It is at once the sense of separation that we feel, a separate I, and at the same time, it's the principle of creation, individuation. All things that come into being through the process of haume. And Naam refers to both creation at the macro level and at the individual level as well. It's personal and impersonal. At the personal level, it is also referred to as the beloved. It's an experience of the beloved, the Har, the Govind, or the Ram, or even a third person pronoun is used, tu, ape. Now this signifies a state of consciousness, a oneness that brooks no separation. You see, and haume is separation. So if reality, Naam, now Naam is also used for the universe, for existence, jeta, kita, teta, now, whatever there is Naam. So reality is one, ek, and anek, simultaneously. That is what Gurmat teaches us, ek hai, anek hai. So it follows that as long as haume persists, the experience of Naam cannot be had, because remember, haume is separation. So as long as you're in ego, you're feeling that separation, and when you're feeling that separation, you cannot experience Naam, because it is a unitive experience. You see the logic here, the contradiction? Because haume keeps the sense of separation alive, and Naam is the experience of oneness. So to experience the Har Self, or to drink the elixir of Naam, Haras Chakhe, means to experience reality at the profoundest level, where cosmic consciousness becomes Ram or Har at the personal level. So, bin sabad-a-day aap na japai sab andi pai gurmati gat chanan naam ante sikhai. So here we go. This consciousness, this realization of the self, cannot happen without the intervention of Gur wisdom. Bin a-sabad-a-day. Without the Sabad, we live in the darkness of ignorance. Sab andi pai. Naume is ignorance of reality. It does not recognize the oneness. There is a oneness, an immutable oneness that holds together all oppositional forces. They're all the same. They're held together by oneness. That's the paradox of reality. So this consciousness is the only companion when the end comes. Nam ante sakhai. But it cannot be recognized without Gurmat, which is the light that illuminates the mind. Gurmati Ghat Chandana. So those who are self-actualized, the Guru says, act from the perspective of Nam. Nam mein hi Nam vartade. Their dealings are informed by Nam. Nam vartara. Vartara is dealing. How do they deal with life, with people? It's from the perspective of self-actualization through this consciousness. Their consciousness is universal. Their speech and their thoughts are guided by self-knowledge. Antar naam mukh naam hai. But they are the ones who have contemplated the teachings of the Gur. Naam mein sabad vichara. So bear in mind the connection. Naam suniye, naam maniye, naam mein vadiyai, naam salahe, sada sada, naam mein mahal pai. Now, naam suniye, maniye, for those who recite the Japji will recognize this. Suniye, maniye is the technology of Gurmat. Suniye is attention. Attention is tied to awareness. So awareness is the doorway, is the door to Naam. Awareness, attention. Naam suniye, naam maniye, naam salahe, sada sada. So when you develop that awareness, you begin to cultivate the virtues of Naam. And that is how you begin to recognize it within yourself. Naam mein hi ghat chandana. Only through self-realization is the mind enlightened. And it is enlightened with the brilliance of wisdom. Naam mein sobha pai. And only through self-realization is gratification, comfort achieved. Naam mein hi sukh upajai. Therefore, seek the shelter of self-knowledge. Naam mein saranai. Now, without the actualization of the self as a virtue, bina naam, no one attains dignity. Koi na maniye. What does that mean? Dignity. We've spoken about dignity as becoming truly human, of rising above one's animal instincts. So without the actualization of the self and its virtues in one's life, one does not attain dignity. And the manmukh, the ego-centered, has lost its dignity. Manmukh pat gavave, wasted its life. Birtha janam gavaye, because it is caught in the entanglement of time. Jampur badde mariye. So it's very important to understand this dimension of time that we are caught in. Because the self is purkh, akal purkh. It is in a sense timeless. But what does it mean to say timeless and to be caught in time? When we say timeless, we don't mean another dimension of time. What we mean is when we are not bound by time. And if you think about it, the only time The only time we don't think about time is the present, when we are fully absorbed or attentive to something. That is why Suniya is so important. But the ego requires the framework of time, of past, present, future. It misses out on the present because it is caught in the past and the future. The past that has already gone by and the future that cannot be predicted. So instead of living in the present, it's living on both polar opposites, missing the whole point, missing Nam in the process, because Nam is the here and the now. Nam mein ki sab seva kare, Gurmukh naam bujhaye. Everyone desires self-knowledge, seva kare, to serve, but it only comes through discernment of Guru wisdom. Namo hi nam mani and nam mein vadiyai. So in the end of this passage, the Guru says, Naam controls everything. Sab kish naame ke vas hai. And it gives or graces as it pleases. Jisno deve tis mile. Here we have grace working. At the end of the day, there is only so much that we can do. And yet, do we must. But with the sense that grace will happen. This realization also comes through Guru wisdom, Gurumati Naam Bujya. And it comes to those who are so favored, Pure Bhag Ko Paaye. So two things are running in parallel. There is self-effort and there is grace, and the two go hand in hand. And so that is the paradox of life. We have to do and exert as best as we can and leave the fruits to the self. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.